listening to Sweep the League.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
All right, welcome to Sweep the League, guys. An early edition of Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr. should be joined here by Coach Gio in just a little bit. And before we get started into our coverage, as you saw, the great second baseman for the Chicago Cubs, Ryan Sandberg, passed away yesterday. And actually, we got word of it when we were actually live on Sweep last night. So prayers out to Ryan Sandberg and his family. I believe he came out and said, he was cancer free. He was doing good. I think he ended up coming back, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the full details on it, but Ryan Sandberg did pass away yesterday, and that's a pretty big loss right there for anyone that followed baseball. Golly, man, what is it like? I know it was the WGN days when San Antonio. He was drafted by Philadelphia. The Phillies traded to the Cubs. I remember the Philadelphia Phillies, and this is a shout out to Jeff Pearlman out there who told the story. Ryan Sandberg was traded from Philadelphia to the Cubs. The Philadelphia Phillies were like ecstatic because they got this great player in return, and it was just giving up really Ryan Sandberg. But the Cubs felt, they got the better part of the deal, and as you can tell, they did. A 10-time All-Star, NL MVP back in '84, 9-time Gold Glove winner, 7-time Silver Slugger award winner. Just an all-around great guy, one of the great guys in baseball. And he's definitely gone. It's tragic because I remember telling friends of mine and, my wife as well, like, man, my childhood is starting to catch up to me because a lot of, icons in my childhood days are starting to pass, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Cosby Show, Ozzy Osbourne. Obviously, we all know Ozzy Osbourne. Then you had Hulk Hogan, the icon Hulk Hogan for WWE. And now today, Ryan Sandberg passed away last night. That is the memory. We're going to get into some of that Ryan Sandberg talk here in a minute. MCS General Contracting, best in the business. Be sure to call them. It's your one-stop, one-call place to call. It's Chris Leha and the boys, MCS General Contracting. Let's not waste any time. Let's bring on the coach here. Coach, I wish we could start Sweep the League on a better note, obviously, but the word last night, I was actually on Sweep the League last night when we got word that Ryan Sandberg, former Chicago Cub, great, and one of the best guys in baseball. I mean, one of the best second basemen, I think, ever in baseball, too. Ryan Sandberg passed away. Man, I was telling everybody my childhood is starting to catch up to me, man. A lot of my icons that I grew up with, they're starting to go, dude.
Rudy, actually, we've had quite a bit of people this last, 2 weeks? I mean,
yeah.
Hulk Hogan, Ozzy. We even had, I forgot his name from the Cosby Show, Rudy, I believe.
Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah, so it's been quite a bit. And for the Cubs community, it's a tough loss. As you said, one of the best second basemen of all time. And it's good to have guys like that. Warm welcome all the time. And he'll truly be missed. We've seen this in the NBA, Rudy. I mean, there's been countless guys. It seems like every day we're losing someone in the community. So as we get older, Rudy, you're just a little bit older than I am. I think we'll kind of see this happening. It's just kind of what life is all about. And, we saw Hulk Hogan pass, so hey.
Does it make you feel like, I know your childhood icons are probably still kicking, but when it gets to that point, does it ever make you feel like, shit, I'm on that list coming up because these are people that I grew up watching? How close am I to being next, dude? I mean, that's a scary ass thing right there.
Not to bring up Kobe, but it's kind of like we lost Kobe really early, right? I mean, he's part of many people's childhood and one of the great competitors. And you have those two types, right, Rudy? You have the ones that are just completely out of just complete out of left field. And then you have the ones where, a particular person may be older in age, and as you get older, definitely will get difficult. But it's never easy, regardless if you see it coming and you don't. But thoughts and prayers with the family. And man, the Cubs, I know that when I lived in Chicago, I've talked to many people who would bring his name up.
Yeah.
Just in conversations.
I want to tell you more about Ryan here in a minute. Let's get to some of the comments, man. Chris Leha, MCS's own general contracting. Chris Leha says, "What's good in the hood, fellas? Man, it's hotter than a mug out here." Sure hell is. Joel Cologne. Shout out to Joel, man. One great supporter of Sweep the League. He says, "What's up? What's going on?" And of course, John wants to drop the Taco Tuesday. He says it's Taco Tuesday. Bring on the lonja.
Taco Tuesday.
I don't know if we want to bring on the lonja. I still got to get rid of what is it? The fupa in Phoenix. I saw a fupa on a fupa, and it just kind of went on and on and on. So pretty much PTS TV. Shout out to PTS TV. As soon as we're done here, be sure to check out PTS TV on YouTube, as Sith is going to be bringing Pleading the Sith tonight right after Sweep the League on the Sweep the League Network. I'm going to be his guest, and it's not safe for work, so please put the children to bed. Jeff Garcia, Rudy, we know NFL will likely never come to San Antonio, but do you feel good about an MLB team here or no because of what's going on with Project Marvel? We'll get into that here in just a second. Jacob Eric, Grading the Market's Own, is in here. Appreciate you here. We will always remember as a teenager the WGN afternoon games with Harry Carey on the call. We lost a giant yesterday. May he rest in peace. That's what I wanted to get into. Don't forget Chuck Mangione, Rudy, rest in peace. He was a jazz player, if I'm not mistaken. Musician, not an actual Utah Jazz player. Musician. Sorry, Rudy, I have to correct you. It sounds like you're saying Ryan. It's Ryan. It's Ryan. Ryan. I'm not saying Ryan. It's Ryan Sandberg. It's the Mexican in me coming out the accent, so it kind of sounds like it. Yo, we talking community benefits agreement and Project Marvel. Yeah, we'll talk about whatever we can, but bringing this up, Gio, I don't know if you ever, how were you around with the WGN was part of cable and TBS, obviously TBS, but
yeah, I remember having Chicago channel. I'm like, this is weird. Like it felt like a Chicago channel, and I think it was, right, Rudy? I believe they had Chicago centric, but I remember the Summer of Love back in 1998, Rudy, which baseball that saved your sport, or at least one of the reasons why baseball was saved. But yeah, I do remember. And man, Rudy, I was at times flying by, man. After I turned 18, which I won't put what year that was, but after I turned 18, Rudy, it seemed like time just flies by.
It really does, dude. Like, it really does. But the WGN days, I remember, like Joel said, the afternoon games, even getting home from school and watching, the games, and, Ryan Sandberg with Andre Dawson, Mark Grace, Sean Dunston. To me, those Cubs teams were pretty damn loaded at the time, and I enjoyed watching Cub games. But that's a reason why I feel today's generation doesn't love the games the way they're supposed to be loved, because you and I and Joel and other people, we could watch Cubs games, White Sox games on WGN. They can play like Cubs and Tigers and, White Sox and Indians at the time, whatever. So we were exposed to other players in the league. That's why we kind of gave them credit. We grew up with these guys. We were watching Bulls games, Bulls against the Cavs, Bulls against, the Pacers. We were able to watch those games. We got acclimated. Same thing with TBS. We were watching Hawks games. We were watching Braves games. Those Braves teams with Sid Bream, Terry Pendleton, Ron Gant, David Just. They go on and on. You turn to love the game, and you turn to get more out of it by that kind of exposure. I think we need to get back to those days, man. You almost have to, because now you're just basically waiting for TNT, who's going to put, LeBron James on every freaking week. You don't get exposure, man. You don't get to see other players and, build love for the actual game.
It's different. Back then growing up, You watch an NBA Finals game, Rudy, on NBC, right? Like you felt the intensity, you felt the story, right? That's what we're missing in sports. A lot of the times, it's the story, is that kind of build up. And I don't want to bring wrestling, but that's kind of a knock on wrestling, or not a knock, but like one of the things is the story, right? Like what makes the most sense from a story perspective to build something up. That's what I feel like sports right now, just in general, not just on TV, is missing that story element that we just don't see, really. A playoff game sometimes doesn't even feel like a playoff game. It feels like it's just a regular season game.
It really does. You can see the dynamic, man. I mean, Harry Carey on the call for WGN, with Cubs games. I mean, that's the stuff that we're missing. And I give a shout out to WGN, dude, because they were one of the pioneers for me to open my eyes and open the horizon, for my horizon of basically other teams, dude. I would have never followed, Cleveland Cavalier basketball and fell in love with them, not watching them play against the Bulls or the Hawks on TBS or WGN. I mean, it opened up a whole lot more doors, dude. We're going to get into some more of your comments here. Appreciate everybody joining us here tonight. Don't forget, after this, it's Plead the Sith with Sith Elias. It's got to be myself joining him for that. Not safe for work. Just remember that. It's going to be a lot more four-letter words than you can ever imagine. And Jonas, yes, sir. The reason why I picked up a trumpet. SR 2001 is in here. The Spurs Mafia down of East Houston will never allow another major sports franchise in the San Antonio area. That's always been said. Both TBS were GOG and were biased in Atlanta, Chicago, respectively, but they were super stations that were nationally. Chipper Jones, Braves on TBS, exactly. In Puerto Rico, the cable package had WPIX in New York, and they had Mets games on. That would be another good time. What a time to be alive. I don't like baseball, but I remember turning on WGN to watch the afternoon Cub White Sox games, not knowing what was going on. Tim Gonzalez, shout out to him. What good, everyone. And also Pluto Blue Devils. Yeah, Tim always gives me crap about the Blue Devils. That's your team. Rudy, how was the game on Saturday? We'll save that for PTS. I loved it. I talked about it last night. The game on Saturday was crazy. The reason is because there are way too many ways to be entertained by your phone, your TV, streaming, etc. That is exactly right, man. Last night, Gio, we talked about Project Marvel in San Antonio. You don't live in San Antonio. I don't live in San Antonio City Limits anymore. But this whole project thing, I talked about how it raises taxes. You're building all this thing, property taxes, especially in the area. It's not a very rich area. It's a very medium area, maybe a little less. So tax is going to go up. Everything like that. Spurs are putting up $1.6 billion on a $4 billion roughly. As of right now, it's like $3 to $4 billion. So they're putting up half to less than half. And of course, they want the city of San Antonio to do it. Biggest concern. We had a congressman last night, a councilman, San Antonio councilman, basically say, I dare you, Spurs, leave. You're not going to get a better deal anywhere else. Nobody's going to build arena anywhere else. As an outsider, what are your first thoughts on that?
What you mean? Spurs potentially leave the city or like the state of Texas? Is that what?
Well, he's basically daring them to take off if they need to.
Well, I mean, look, the NBA is looking to expand, Rudy. We've learned of this, and I think they will. There's a bunch of things that they have to go through with deals, with TV deals and stuff like that. But I mean, Rudy, could the Spurs move to Seattle?
That was my first guess.
Become the Sonics. I've been to Seattle. I know the layout there. They want basketball, so I think they'll build a basketball or a multiplex arena in Seattle. There's also other cities as well. Vegas. I don't think you really want to test the Spurs, quote unquote, Rudy. I don't think they're going to leave. With Wemby and all that stuff going on. But I do think there's options for this congressman to say that. There are options.
Don't say Congress because we'll get in trouble if you say Congress.
Councilman, Congress. Okay. They can find a home. I don't think it would be difficult. Plus, you got Wemby coming. I think they'll be fine. But baseball, Rudy, in San Antonio, as their comment earlier talked about the Astros or Houston or the Astros, whatever team, blocking that from happening. I do think San Antonio could possibly support a baseball team. You've lived there before already. Do you feel that a fan base could be cultivated in that area for baseball?
You put me on the spot.
I'm assuming that's no, Rudy. That's all I gotta know.
So basically, what I'm going to say is this: I will say this much: can another sports franchise survive in San Antonio? A major sports franchise survive in San Antonio? Awesome question. And here's the comment that you were looking for, because SR said, yeah, the Spurs Mafia, basically the owners of the Spurs around Houston, they won't allow another, basically, Spurs Sports Entertainment, they say won't allow another team to come in. Can San Antonio support another professional franchise? As a San Antonioan, and yeah, I just live outside the city limits, but as a majority of my life being in San Antonio, I'm going to say probably not over the long run. It gets hyped. I mean, you get so much hype. They bring in the Arena League and it's hyped for a while. They bring in, UTSA finally gets football. It was hyped for a while. They couldn't get, into a bowl. So then Jeff Traylor came in. They started getting national recognition. It's hyped again. It's hyped again. They had a kind of a down year and the support wasn't there. And that's college football. You've got other stuff, the current teams that are going, with the XFL and all that stuff going on. Again, there's hype, there's support, but it's not NFL standards. And to be honest, MLB in San Antonio, it's probably going to be the same as Oakland, as Tampa Bay. It's going to be good when they're winning.
Yeah.
It's going to be mediocre when it's getting to go. And I'll tell you right now, I don't know if everybody in San Antonio has the patience to deal with 100+ baseball games for the year. 80 of which are in town. I think 130. I can't remember the amount of how many baseball games, but I can't see the city supporting it for the long run. That's my problem right there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought initially, Rudy, and what I was thinking of that first few years, rah, everyone's kumbaya. But as you pointed out, how about the long term? Like, how many large corporations are in San Antonio, Rudy?
You got a couple, but I mean, when you think about it, your major investors in Spurs are Austin-based companies outside of the Holtz. So yeah.
Well, there you go. I think it could work with a lot of smart people in a room, maybe planning out. But as you point out, Rudy, I think there's definitely some limitations. And, could they support? Maybe. I think it could work, but I think there's going to have to be a lot of patience, Rudy. Look at Oakland, Rudy. Yeah. Now, you could say this. The owners, they didn't spend – I mean, they literally gutted their whole team. I mean, over the last several years, they literally said, we're not putting a dime into this team. And you saw it, and they couldn't get a deal done for a new stadium, and now they're going to Vegas. Right now, Rudy, aren't they like in Sacramento playing in a minor league baseball field, which the MLB does not like at all, but what are you going to do? So the A's leave. I mean, it's possible long term. It probably may not work out from some of the points you made, but baseball in San Antonio, I don't know if that.
You'd have to build something. You'd have to build a stadium for baseball.
Indoor, please, indoor.
Well, you would hope indoor, because 110 degree, 100 degree weather in the summer is just ridiculous.
Well, the Astros have indoor and the Rangers, so I would only assume that San Antonio. But I mean, it's kind of like football. Jerry Jones is not going to allow it.
You got to stop with that, though. I don't think Jerry's the one stopping San Antonio from getting.
Listen, Jerry wants everything to himself, Rudy. He's selfish. The man is selfish.
He doesn't even want a Super Bowl. You can tell by that.
And those comments he made, which I don't know if you saw, Rudy, they had him up there talking, I think this week or maybe last week, talking about Micah and Dak Prescott. Jerry, just get off the mic. Stop. Just go home. Let your sons take care of the team. What are you doing? They still got this guy on a mic, Rudy, on a podcast sometimes too during the year.
Yeah,
he's the only owner in sports, Rudy, that has his own post-game show. I mean, it's just crazy to me.
It's dumb. I'm gonna call it like it is. It's dumb that Jerry gets that. It goes back to Gio. I mean, again, San Antonio gets so hyped for teams that come in that it doesn't go completely over all the time. Now, if not for Victor Wembanyama coming in, I don't know how much hype there would be for Spurs. As we know, I mean, Jeff Garcia and I talked last night. We don't know. It's been very rare that the Spurs have been on the positive side of revenue. You know, that they had some losing seasons after the big three. From what I understand, ticket sales weren't great. You know, it was a really, really pain in the ass. But now you want a whole new arena. The thing that I talked about last night was this. This should be, if it goes through, this is your forever home. There's no more, we need a new arena 30 years from now. We need this or that. This needs to be the forever home if it passes. Because now you're downtown where you want to be. You're away from the east side, which again, now what do you do with Frost Bank? Jeff was like, we can do concerts. Everything else, they want to be in the new arena. They don't want to go to the old one. Everybody wants to be in the new side. So Frost Bank just becomes a ghost town, basically, the Frost Bank Center. So this has to be their forever home. But if they don't go, John's right. Austin is waiting. That's another place that's waiting. You already have the major investors there. Apparently, you and I are going to be waking up in a case. I have no idea what Jeff's talking about. Hopefully, he'll be able to let us know.
Well, Rudy, I wouldn't. This might be, or this is going to be taboo, but the Spurs in Austin, that could work.
There's no place to build an arena in Austin unless it's outside of Austin.
That's the problem. So, I mean, look, the Braves don't play technically in downtown Atlanta, but
yeah,
it could work. It's just depends on your fan base, because the Braves fan base, they're going to come regardless, whether it's downtown or it's a little bit outside the city. So,
yeah. I agree with that. Rudy Gio, there could be another San Antonio player. Could be joining the sisterhood. Bella Fleming has Duke on her top 5 list. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. You should never test a franchise. Good. Rudy Gio, would you be surprised if one day you wake up to find the Spurs are moving from San Antonio? Tackle that one, Gio, because I'm going to say I would be shocked if it
before Wemby, probably not, Rudy. Would you agree, Rudy, if Wemby wasn't here, what this team would probably look like? I mean, obviously it's been nothing, but if Wemby's not here, Rudy, this team is, I mean, continuing to be in the lottery. I could definitely see it now with Wemby there and Project Marvel or whatever you guys are calling over there. I just find it hard to believe, Rudy, that they would leave the city high and dry. Don't be like Stan Kroenke of the Rams, who left St. Louis literally high and dry when they wanted to get a deal done. Don't do that, because I'm sure the Spurs or the city will probably sue the Spurs. But no, I won't, or I would be shocked at this point, at least, if the Spurs leave.
I think they get the deal done at the end. I think Councilman Rodriguez McKee Rodriguez was bringing up points like, hey, you know, you're putting all this money in, but we need something in return. You know, taxes are going to go up. You're going to do this. There's the income in San Antonio. There's a lot of people that can't afford to have their property taxes raised. There's a lot of people that can't afford this and this extra. Something has to give. So they were all legit. If you want to take a look at that episode, go last night. We talked all about it last night. Project Marvel here on Sweep the League. The entire city council meeting was worth watching. It was 5+ hours, Gio. I'm not going to sit for 5+ hours of a city council meeting. I'm not that committed. No other sports franchise would support another team to San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, I don't feel like another sports team would work here. Another professional team wouldn't work here. There's no way. And don't forget. Okay. Go ahead.
How about MLB? I mean, no.
MLS?
Yes, MLS.
I will say that would definitely work here. MLS would work here. Yeah, MLS would be perfect for San Antonio. And I went to an SAFC game this past Saturday. Shout out to Leha and the boys out there at MCS. They were hosting my family and I. Great time. And the game was amazing, even though it ended up in a tie. My bad. We left, and there was 2-0 when we left. It was 2-2 by the time we got to the car. That was like a 10-minute walk. So, yeah, in 10 minutes, they tied the score up and tied the game. Darth, as I've always believed MLB could be huge in San Antonio, but the city has always wanted an NFL team which cannot be supported in a blue-collar city. The city is not a sports town compared to Indiana, Chicago, and New York.
He's right.
I will say
Indiana's a pretty big. I mean, I know we're not on the spectrum of Chicago, but Indiana, as Tim stated, pretty good. I've lived in Chicago. I mean,
you lived in all three.
I actually have lived in all three. And New York, obviously, is the Mecca. I don't have to talk about that. But Indiana, I mean, look, football, NBA, baseball. From my research, really, they tried a long time ago. I don't think it will happen because the Cubs are there. But they're trying to potentially get an MLS team here in Indiana. So, yeah, it's just not that market, Rudy. San Antonio, it's probably never going to happen. Y'all are going to just have one professional team and also UTSA, but that's collegiate. That's
fine, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not wanting to bring anything more here. It's hard because you can't it's hard to even support the Spurs full time because if ticket prices go up, you're pricing out a lot of people that can afford to go. So be honest, the NFL tickets in San Antonio, they're expensive. I've been to NFL games and they're
expensive.
Pricey.
They are pricey. The Bears historically have been one of the hot, and as bad as they've been, have been one of the highest. They're not even good.
Yeah.
That just shows you NFL in San Antonio. Good luck.
Even MLB. Now, MLB can be inexpensive. I've been to a few MLB games, most recently in Arizona. For 5 of us, I think I paid like $200 for the tickets, which is, and we were lower level. You know, it was really, really good seats. MLB would work price wise, but I mean, it's kind of hard to make it work when you maybe have a couple thousand people in the stands, 3,000, maybe 4,000.
Other cities do. I mean, Cincinnati, Rudy, NFL, baseball. It's just San Antonio. I just think is even below. I think they're even below that, right? Like Cincinnati's they're a small market, but in baseball, probably small to like medium, right? Like, I guess you could say that. But in San Antonio, I just think it could work, but something tells me probably long term. That's what you said, Rudy. It's going to be looking like a bunch of empty seats out there.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is we here in San Antonio, we get hyped up early and we support it early. But then as time moves on, it kind of dies out. But that's like almost anything, man. That's like almost anything there.
I'll say this. Orlando, I think we've talked about this in the past. Orlando is trying to get a baseball team ready.
Yeah.
They're trying. I think it's the Orlando Dream. That's been kind of titled the name. I don't know if that's the official name. Quick one, Rudy. Do you think that could work in Orlando? It is a pretty decent sized market. I'm not sure, though, because Disney World, the theme parks.
I think they're going to bank too much on tourists to make it happen and to make it work. But when you go to Orlando, like you said, you're not going to watch an MLB game.
No.
Honestly, I think NFL works in Orlando because there's only
I've heard that
8 games, 8 home games, and a couple of preseason.
Look, Tampa, as much winning they've done over the years in general, Rudy, I mean, that stadium, which I don't think they're even playing in it right now because it got basically destroyed.
Yeah.
But they're trying to get a new one, a new ding built. And then the Marlins, they finally got there, but no one really goes to those games either. And I've lived, and Rudy's going to say, well, Julius lived everywhere, but I've lived near South Florida. Rudy, my job would give me free tickets to Miami Marlins. I'm telling you. And I would say, no, I'm good. Free tickets, Rudy. And the whole department said, we're fine. We're not going to a free game.
It's a Marlin game? You wouldn't go to a Marlin game? Come on, man.
The traffic, it's too inward. It's annoying to get to.
Yeah, I would definitely support an MLB team here. I already watch every Red Sox game. I can adopt my local team too. SR 2001. Jerry would never allow another NFL team in Texas, let alone SA. MLB would work here. Small stadium, say 39K like Fenway, would really work. Now, that is a massive point there because MLB works if you keep it confined to a minimum amount of seats. So I would go one less and say maybe 35K. But those ticket prices are going to have to make sense for them because MLB contracts with no salary cap, not yet. They are talking about a couple of years, but with no salary cap, those tickets are going to have to be expensive because they got to pay for the players. But I think a smaller stadium, that might work in MLB here.
It could work. I think the Mariners are about 47, 48, which is a pretty good. And listen, I did a whole tour, Rudy. It was fantastic. I mean, the Mariners keep their stadium in tip-top shape. Did Chase Field look really good to you? Like, was it in good shape?
I said it before. I'll say it again. Chase Field is probably the best stadium I've ever been to. From parking, they literally had people guiding you to the parking spots, parking here. And this isn't a garage. They blocked off the whole garage for everybody parked in. When we left, we were able to get out. No issues. Made it to the highway like within minutes. Walking into the stadium, super clean. Everybody was super helpful. There was no issues whatsoever. Lines were very organized. I mean, this was the best stadium I've ever been to. And I will say gladly 100% of the time, I would go back in a heartbeat. So, yeah, it makes a big difference. I've been to, a game in Houston. I've been to Cincinnati. I've been to Texas as well. And I still put the Diamondback Stadium, Chase Field above there. I mean, you've probably been to a couple more stadiums too as well. But I think Chase definitely takes the mantle there.
Cincinnati was good. I mean, it's your kind of classic American ballpark. Miami at the time, though I haven't been to the new one there. Tampa is absolutely horrendous. That's probably the worst baseball state I have ever been to is in Tampa. I might go to Shea Stadium with them, or I think it's still Shea. With the Mets play in a few weeks, I might catch the Mariners in New York, but not sure yet. But yeah, it's man, some of these baseball. I want to visit Pittsburgh already. That's definitely on the list.
Oh yeah. That's one. I think next year we're looking at San Diego or San Francisco. Hopefully San Francisco to catch a Giants game, but every Giants game I've seen in person, they've lost. I'm a horrible bad luck charm for them. JC's the next stadium, 2045. Will have to be between San Antonio and Austin. You laugh, but man, I'm all for. There's a place in San Antonio between San Antonio and New Braunfels in that area. It's called, Retama Park. I'm for them buying that entire freaking area. The only issue I have is I-35 is under construction for the next 165 years because it's never been completed. That would be a major traffic jam, but that is a perfect spot. You draw in San Antonio, New Braunfels, San Marcos, Kyle, Texas, Austin, Texas, Round Rock. I mean, you draw so many people into that area. It's easy for people to go to Spurs games there. That's a great idea. Jerry definitely is the cock blocker. He sits on the expansion committee.
I told you already. It's Jerry. Jerry, as long as he's alive, Jerry will not. Well, he won't allow it. Trust me on this. He's all about money, and he's the most valued franchise. Not that having a team in San Antonio would diminish that. I don't. But it could take some fans away from Cowboys to San Antonio, I guess, Jerry.
Dude, I've heard people, and this is honest to God truth. I've heard people, friends of mine, that have said that if the San Antonio community ever got an NFL team, these are their exact words, Gio. Fuck them. I'm a Cowboy for life. So that kind of tells you Jerry's got everybody brainwashed on that.
Look, the Cowboy fans, probably the most delusional fan base I have ever met.
Yeah.
Now, the craziest fans I have probably ever met are the Eagles. Those people there will fight you tooth and nail. But Cowboy fans are just delusional, and it's the old same jokes, right, Rudy? Bring out the VHS. It's the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, which it is true.
I can't talk. We've been to Super Bowl. We've always been a bridesmaid, never been the bride for the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Dell will find a spot that is, yeah, they will. UTSA can't get fan support their team because more Longhorn and Aggie fans. Las Vegas is waiting for a team. Shout out to Mario Cavasso. Spurs Sports Entertainment holds a key to the city. What they want will happen. Guarantee Project Marvel is happening. All those against it shall not be allowed in. Y'all need to quit blaming others. It's SSC that's not allowing a team here. I mean, Spurs Sports Entertainment, they have a big say in it. Regio, why does it feel like the Brahmas are failing in San Antonio? Again, the Brahmas are another team. They started off hot. I was covering the Brahmas games there in person, and it's just going downhill. The support isn't there anymore, man.
Rudy, is there room for more football? Because
no.
after the NFL season and college season, I'm a bit exhausted. Like it's been a long haul, especially if a team gets to the playoffs. As a fan, at least, you're like, is there more room? I think there's room. That's not arena football, correct, Rudy? That's outdoors.
No, it's basic football. It's basically football. I mean, they have a couple of rule changes, but it's basically what you see on TV.
So there's a team here actually that just opened up in the city I'm in that has an indoor team, and it's always crowded. I just don't know if San Antonio and other areas as well, Rudy, it's not just them. There's been an issue with other teams that are trying to move, but I just think in general the fan base is really. I just don't know if it's just too much football. I just don't know if it's gonna work. I thought it was going to at first because football, it's not played during the fall, blah blah. But I used to watch a little bit, Rudy. Now I don't even tune in anymore. It's just it's sad to see, but
same here,
100% they want part of everything.
Yeah, the Spurs want part of their hand in everything there, Mario, and that's the reason why they won't leave unless someone offers them mad money to outright buy the team. That could happen. I'm gonna bring that up here in a minute. MLS would work because of Mexicans in soccer. Yeah,
hey,
not to throw shade on that, but I would definitely say, yeah, definitely that's the reason why it would work here. A San Antonio soccer team in Liga Mexico. Yeah, MLS was supposed to be here, but the Spurs Mafia cock blocked it. That's why MLS is in Austin. That whole fiasco was weird, man. Just kidding. Love y'all. We know you're kidding, man. We actually all feel the same way. We love you too, back jaw. Chris, that's what I'm saying. Spurs and Sports Entertainment are the kingpin here. Leha loves it and fucking Joel. Exactly. He knows what he's talking. And all them crying councilmen complaining about potholes they need to get with the Diamond Hard MCS. They will fill the holes with Diamond Hard concrete. Yeah, definitely a great plug for MCS General Contracting. All the comments coming in, man. A lot of people won't support baseball because they're more football than baseball. Pretty much what I said. Would Major League Dodgeball make it in San Antonio?
Dude, I would watch that, Rudy.
I would definitely hit up some Major League Dodgeball.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. I forgot who said that.
Golly, dude.
What's his name in the wheelchair? I forgot his name.
It's Patches or what the hell is his name?
Yeah, so it is Patches O'Houlihan, right? Yeah. And it's a guy from Men in Black. I forgot his name. He passed away a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, he was in Men in Black. I forgot about that, man. Yeah. Jesus Christ. What else do we have here? Been to Fenway, Minute Maid, and PNC in Pittsburgh. Fenway, obviously, was favorite, but PNC, that ballpark is just a beauty. The views, experience, outstanding. That's Gio's next place he wants to go. He wants it over to Pittsburgh.
That's on the list. I'm not able to get to this year, but it's definitely next year a big must. I hope the Mariners go to Pittsburgh. I don't think they may have went, but I probably just couldn't get out there.
Cowboys to San Antonio. Citizens Park in Philly. That's a great ballpark too. Jerry Cockblock back in 1924 when the Expos met Carolina and Jacksonville. That's why I loathe the Cowbros and their San Antonio-based fans. I wish nothing but the worst. Rudy, why did the Commanders work in San Antonio? Again, you support a team but there's no support beyond a certain point, and that's the reason why I don't think another team would benefit from San Antonio. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. As longtime Cowboy fans, yes, if San Antonio was to have an NFL team, it would take time to switch over. Realistically, I would be a fan of both. That's exactly F them boys. 2001, it's pronounced Los Comadres. Okay. Cowboys acknowledge Jerry Jones as their tribal chief. Puro pinche Cowboys. Here we go.
Yo, Jerry is a tribal chief, man.
Yeah, Rip Torn was the guy.
Yes, the legend.
Jerry Jones is my old bastard uncle, Tim Gonzalez. Okay. I love the comments coming in. Ultimately, dude, it's going to be hard for another sports franchise to come in. And as far as Project Marvel goes, Gio, I mean, it's probably going to pass. I mean, I can't see the Spurs not getting a new arena. I can't see the Spurs not being in San Antonio. But here's the thing. If there's wind, and I brought it up last night, if there's wind that the Spurs are relocating, you've got former players here, smart players. You don't think they could probably get investors to keep San Antonio here? Ginobili and Robinson, if I'm not mistaken, already have stake in the San Antonio Missions. They're a part of a group that, has stake in the Missions. But seeing these guys come together to have stake in the Spurs, I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy to think, but could it possibly happen that if they go up for sale, that another investment group locally could come in and take it?
It's possible, right? I mean, we've seen other ownership groups throughout the years come and go, and I've talked about the Rams. We saw what happened to the Sonics. I mean, really, can we say Oklahoma City was a huge success at this point? I mean,
yeah,
they've been building for so many years, and that has been. And who would have thought, really, Oklahoma City? Now, I don't think Oklahoma City can support another team. I will say, though.
Oh no.
I will say. Never mind. That's not going to work. But really, I just don't see them moving. It just doesn't make any sense to me logistically to sell. Leave. And if they left, I mean, think about the hole, Rudy, that it would leave. I mean, we saw in Seattle, I mean, it left a huge hole, and many people, plus the former players, for the Spurs to leave San Antonio, the impact that would have, that would be tremendous. And if it did happen, Rudy, I'm now a free agent.
I think you and everybody else would be a free agent, man, when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs. Maybe in 10 years now, they might bring back the WNBA. The WNBA was pretty successful in San Antonio. I would say they had some really good support. Same thing with the San Antonio, I just wrote the hockey team that we had. Both teams got relocated, the Rampage. Both teams got relocated to Vegas. Last night I said, well, can Vegas go 3 for 3 and take the Spurs? I mean, Jesus Christ, that's another place that wants it.
But Rudy, I've been to Vegas, and I'm just curious. People don't go there to watch sports, and I get it. The local fans are there, right? But a part of Vegas is what, Rudy? Tourism, right? Like a lot of people. And I'm just curious, in 10 years, what is this going to look like for Vegas? Because I don't know, Rudy. All these teams moving here, I don't know. But hey, there's people with, I guess, better IQs than I am who figured this out and have confirmed it's going to be a great success. But I don't know. From my kind of viewpoint, being in Vegas, it didn't seem like people were interested. Now, the Raider fans, they travel and they live all over California and they'll come. But I don't know, man.
Who knows if it would even happen? I don't think NBA goes to Vegas.
I think it makes sense.
It makes sense to get a team, but I don't know if they're going to be one of the first expansion franchises to go.
Let them rest. Let them rest for a few years.
Yeah, because they've been adding stuff left and right.
Right.
I mean, they got to chill out, man. Mission's going downtown. They've got to build it. I mean, they're supposed to have been downtown. I don't know if they're going to do anything with the Missions. I think it was Quan that tweeted at the Spurs put $500 million with the city putting the rest. The city says no, and Spurs say we tried, but we're out. So yeah, Quan on X, the final Quan, I think, or Quan Wick, whatever his tag is. It's kind of the same thing. Spurs are saying, here's our card. City, what are you going to do? Well, the city's not saying no. They're not saying, well, we're not going to put anything in. What the city is basically saying, and according to the councilman, is we're willing to do it, but we need something in return. Why? Build an Alamo Dome. That costs the taxpayers. Yeah, it houses UTSA now, but we built it hoping to get an NFL team, which when they said, oh, we're going to get an NFL team, everybody was happy. But if you really dive deep down into it, no NFL team was coming. We had the Saints because of, a disaster over in New Orleans with the hurricane. So they said, okay, Spurs, you can move into the dome. San Antonio Spurs didn't like it because it was half of the dome. It could never get loud in there because of the echo. It just didn't feel like home. No worries. We're going to build you an arena. We're going to build the arena on the east side of town where there's nothing other than the Freeman Coliseum. But guess what? We're going to develop that side of the city for you. We're going to put restaurants. We're going to put bars. We're going to make it 30 years later. It's still a piece of shit part of the city because there's nothing there. And I blame the Spurs. That whole side of San Antonio, it sucks for them because they were promised so much, yet they got nothing out of it. And the Spurs said, thank you for building this great arena for us. What do you mean we owe you to develop this side? We don't owe you anything. That sucks for them. It was not a great developed area. It's still not developed in that area. I blame the Spurs on that. They wanted to help that area. So now you go downtown, Gio. Here we go again. We're going to build this arena for you. We're going to develop it. We have Project Marvel. We're going to put bars. We're going to put restaurants. We're going to put this. We're going to put that. Okay, cool. You're downtown. But it goes back to, what are we doing on that side of town? That's what the councilman wants. What are you going to do for the city? Because you've made all these promises before and you haven't done anything. That's a legit concern.
No, I think it's fair, Rudy. Downtown, listen, there is, great opportunities. But Rudy, who's living in downtown, right? Think about it.
A lot of apartments.
Apartments, probably definitely a younger crowd.
In that area, it's an older generation.
Oh,
I'm talking people that are retired.
Oh, okay. All right. So a different style of downtown. I think the city's right, Rudy. What else are you going to do? Because just bringing an arena, that's not enough, Rudy. Because we've seen with other cities, they build that kind of multiplex, right? There's other things going around. I know I've brought up the Braves, but I love how they have their setup there. There's a lot going around. Cincinnati's the same thing, Rudy. There's stuff happening in that area. It's not just a baseball. The Cardinals are another team as well. That's a great ballpark as well. So no, the city isn't wrong. It says, hey, you know what? Sure. But what else are you going to do? What are you going to give to continue to expand and really give something other than just basketball? Because nowadays it is more than just basketball.
It really is. And that's the thing that I think city council wants. And, I wasn't knocking and I wasn't, downgrading that side of town of San Antonio, but it really never was developed. And it's terrible. It's terrible for them that it was never developed. I should buy the Spurs with my only fan money. Maybe.
Rudy, UTSA. Okay. I know it's not, it may happen. Do you think in the next 10 years they'll get their own stadium? Because I got to think they don't like being in there.
That's another debate that they have here. I will say, yeah, I think in the next 10 years, UTSA does get their own stadium. It's probably going to be on campus over there, where UTSA is located. I would say, yeah, dude, I think they're going to go. I mean, hell, a high school team just opened up a $62 million football stadium. High school.
Listen, Texas prints out so much money. How in the heck, Rudy, is UTSA playing? And no disrespect to the Alamo Dome, because it's a, I guess a piece of history. But really, they should not be playing.
Piece of something.
They should not be playing in the state of Texas, where you have high schools paying coaches so much money and building stadiums, that the UTSA team is playing indoors in the state of Texas. Now, baseball is different, but I get it. It's a small team. It's not, the Aggies, or it's not the Longhorns, or even TCU. But come on, I mean, a dome. I am kind of embarrassed, Rudy, for UTSA, to be honest with you.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Jeff Garcia and Sweep the League here. We be owners of the Spurs. I don't think I can afford it. After WNBA, the unwatchable garbage, the casinos are keeping the franchises alive in Vegas by buying all the tickets.
That's true.
Yes, my dog Quan. You could lose a rim going to the Frost with all them potholes. That's definitely, again, underdeveloped area. They should have developed that. PTS Quan is a good follow. How much chaos will happen if San Antonio votes down Project Marvel? I think it'll be total chaos. Cincinnati Sports District is sick. It really is. We lived in Ohio for a couple of years. We went to a couple of Reds games, and
that's what San Antonio wants, Rudy. Something like that.
Yeah, and that's what was supposed to happen where the Frost Bank is, and nothing's there. And that's the problem, is people are tired of getting lied to in San Antonio. Nobody parties on the east side. That's why businesses never followed the Spurs when they were winning championships. Perfectly said. Nobody wants to go to the east side of town. There's nothing. That's where the Spurs went there. They should have helped develop the area. That's the idea, that we're going to develop the area. And you know what? It may not all be on the Spurs, but I mean, the whole area should have been developed. It might be a different story. Gio, I live in San Antonio downtown area, and we are old folks. I'm 46. My neighbor is 103. See, I'm telling you, that whole area is older.
Well, it's been a while since I've been to San Antonio, so but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, SIP SA is a plan to secure revenue streams for local beverages companies, 300 plus local jobs impacted. Okay, we're ready at the end of the show. Plead the Sith is coming on. As soon as we're done here, it's going to be Plead the Sith time. But ultimately, Gio, Spurs, San Antonio, is it a guarantee they stay? 1 to 10, 10 being they will be here guaranteed.
I'll go with 10. I would be shocked if they move to a different city, or they pull out. No point intended, but it's just
no Diddy. That's what the kids say. No
Diddy. Yeah. I just find it hard to believe with Wemby there and all that momentum. Why move? Why leave? And if you're San Antonio, if they threaten you to leave, though, Rudy, let's say Spurs says, "Hey, you know what? We're leaving," and do the city say, "Well, I guess you don't have to develop the area, but you should, though, man. You really, really should, because we've seen it work in some really cool cities. So why San Antonio Spurs don't? Probably just being cheap."
Probably so. Mario, is a very, very bad idea to build on the east side. Imagine if it was built on the south side, it would have been awesome. I agree with that. A south side stadium, that was developing area. That would have been a really good move. I have no idea what they were thinking on that. I think the land was cheap there, and they said, "Oh, we'll just put it here." People will literally riot if the Spurs leave. I
think they would, Rudy. I really think something would happen. I just see it now. A lot of tears. It would be a very emotional moment. Not that when any team leaves, it doesn't obviously happen, but
the Alamo will burn if they leave. Jesus Christ, man. Are we really going that far? Yep.
Hey, one more thing on UTSA, Rudy. I saw Jeff Triller was talking about he lost 11 defensive starters.
He lost his entire defense, put it that way.
Rudy, why is he still? I just think he's such a talented coach. Why are you still there, brother? Has he lost his window, Rudy? Because you know how this is. If you're in the market, you're hot, and then you stay, right? And then people kind of forget that you're there. I don't know, Rudy. I think the time for him to leave was 2 years ago.
So I think when we talked last, I think we said Jeff Taylor has that 2-year window. And this was maybe last year when we talked about it. I still think so. I think this is that year where we may start to see him think about getting another position. I think you're going to see a couple of jobs open up where he may start to move that route, man. I mean,
I'm surprised Florida didn't open up.
That's what I'm talking about. There's teams out there that the job is open. It's just not open right now. And that's where I think we're going to see a lot of this happening, man.
Well, I think we can look at the landscape, Rudy, and Arkansas, Sam Pittman, he's going to definitely be on the hot seat this year. Could we see him at Oklahoma if Brent Venables doesn't win? Lincoln Riley at USC, Rudy.
That's the big one. That's the one I'm curious to see what happens with Lincoln Riley. That's the big one. But we're going to end on this note. If he goes to Oklahoma, OU, can you imagine the recruits from Texas he's going to be getting up there? He's got massive stronghold in the Texas pipeline there when it comes to kids.
That's why I think, depending on what teams become open, obviously we haven't done the college football preview, so it's still early, but we should have some coaches on the hot seat segment, Rudy, because there's a lot of coaches on that hot seat that need to win. I would definitely love to see him in that SEC kind of country. It doesn't have to necessarily be in the SEC, but obviously Oklahoma's there, so I think he could fit well in Oklahoma. They're kind of teetering right now. We'll see what happens. They first year in the SEC wasn't as planned, I guess, maybe what they thought of, but they're going to be open. Maryland's going to probably be open. There's going to be some good spots, but, we'll see.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see. I appreciate everybody joining us here today for Sweep the League. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow, but if not, we'll try to get another show in this week. I believe Grading the Market's going to have a week show tomorrow for live because the National Card Convention starts, I believe, Thursday. So those guys may do a show. We'll keep you guys posted on whether they do for tomorrow. But that'd be Jacob, Eric, and Anthony over there for Grading the Market. Plead the Sith is coming right up. As soon as we're done with this show, stay tuned to Plead the Sith TV. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be not safe for work. It's going to be a lot of 4-letter words. So for Coach Joe, it's Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again, we'll see you later, Knuckleheads.